Thank you. So, thank you. For the past 3.5 years, I've been privileged to be part of a great team of people that are fighting cybercrime every day back in Tel Aviv. And they are addressing the core question of doing that, which is how can you tell when somebody goes to an online service if it's really him or an imposter, a fraudster? So this team is only one of more than 300 teams in Israel that does that. 300, that's the number of cybersecurity firms in Israel. This is an enormous contribution if you take into account the size of Israel compared to the world and how much we're contributing to cybersecurity. But let's get back to the core question we're talking about. So how can you tell if somebody is really him or somebody else? We all know that when somebody identifies himself online as a 15-year-old teenager, it might as well be a 60-year-old guy in his basement, right? So companies have been using a model that is called the three-factor authentication model, which is based on trying to identify you with different types of identifying assets. The first one would be something you know. A password, a passphrase, your ATM PIN code, a knowledge-based question like what's your mother's maiden name. Then there's something you have. In the past, we were giving this token that we would tie to our keychain and would generate a password that is good for 60 seconds. Today, they are sending a text message to our phone, and this is something we have. It shows that we are in possession of that artifact at that time. Then there's biometrics, something we are. And usually it's physical biometrics like our fingerprint, our eye print, our voice, or it might be even be our heart rate that is taken as something that identifies us. However, these assets has been compromised by fraudsters and imposters over and over. If we take passwords and something you know, then they have been shown in research to be compromised because all of us reuse passwords across services. The research shows users have 6 unique passwords to average of 24 accounts. So this means they're reusing and also not really changing the passwords. Then if we're talking about something you know, these knowledge-based questions, in many cases, the research show 15 to 30% of the cases, users forget their own knowledge-based question answers, while the fraudster are succeeding in 60% of the time because they research you on the social network or somewhere. Then if we talk about something you have, those text messages that we get over SMS, over a phone, these get compromised by malware on your mobile phone. The malware can be used to steal your credentials. It can also forward all the text message to the fraudster, so we get these codes in real time and can log in into your account. And even if we're talking about this cutting edge technology of biometrics, it took only a few weeks after the iPhone 5 with the first fingerprint reader was introduced for a German hacker to take an HD photo of the general, the Minister of Security of Germany, member of parliament, and prove that he can take the fingerprint right off the HD photo and log in into the iPhone with that. So even that's not safe. So the innovation that we came up with actually takes your behavior as a biometric factor. It does what we call a behavioral analytics, behavioral biometrics. Trusteer builds a profile of your behavior. Where do you log in from? Which devices you are using? What times of day? How you are doing your transactions? And builds this as a behavioral profile. And then whenever you log in, it tries to check if there's any anomalies in this login versus the profile that has been built. Then we overlay indications that we have identified of you being compromised, like did you have a malware on your device? Did you have, were you exposed to a phishing attack where your credentials were stolen? So let me give you a couple of examples of how this is done. The first one is what we call velocity patterns. Velocity patterns is identifying you logging in from North America and then a few minutes later logging from another device from Russia. You couldn't have traveled that fast, right? So it couldn't be you. That's velocity patterns. We identify that. Then we have also a technology to identify when somebody remotely accesses your device or remotely controls your device. This is what fraudsters do. They can call you, impersonate to be the bank support team or Microsoft support team, help you with some bogus problem, and then convince you to let them take over your device. Or if they infected your device with a malware, the malware allows them to take over your device when you're not around. So our technology can identify when a device is remotely being controlled, and accessing this service is another indication of impersonation. And the last technology is learning mouse movements. Every person has unique mouse movement. If I ask you to move from point A to point B, you might move like that, I might move like that. So each one has a unique patterns of how they move their mouse. And we can learn that and then identify if it's you accessing your account or somebody else. Moreover, when we can attribute a certain mouse pattern to a fraudster, and we're seeing him accessing different accounts, we can always say this is the fraudster we know. So we can help multiple service providers this way. So maybe I got you a bit frightened with all this talk about attacks and compromise, but that's a good thing, because being cautious and conscious of that will help you stay more safe. So let me give you a couple of tricks or tips. First of all, if you receive an email or a text message or a social network message that try to arouse any of those emotions in you, be cautious. For example, a message that tells you if you don't log into your account in 48 hours, we will limit it or we will close it. This is trying to raise anxiety and prompt you into prompt action. Or if it tries to raise your curiosity in a way that is too aggressive, like was Michael Jackson, did he die from illness or was he killed? Something like that. So maybe they're trying to get you to click on that link and infect you with the malware. And there's always good old greed. If you want something that you never registered for, it's too good to be true, so it's not true. So that's one. Then, if you see your password up there, please replace it. This is the list of the most common 25 passwords in 2016. It didn't change much from 2015 or from 2014. And you are all smiling because you're all seeing your password there. And then look at the bottom. If you're using your spouse, your pet, your kids, your phone number, your address as the password, that's not good as well. And if you think you hacked the system by adding an exclamation mark and the number 1 at the end, they have tools to automatically check for all those variations. Don't. Use something bogus. If you want tips on what to use, come to me later so I can know your password. And so I hope I helped you a bit. Fighting cybercrime is a team sport. We are doing a lot in the background to help you stay safe, but you have to do your part as well. Thank you.